Check, check, 1, 2. 1, 2. What's the word? Yeah, oh, okay. Okay. All right. Now you're saying, like, why was he late? I'm getting caught up on these wires. Shut that thing up. Let me move this a little better. A little better. That feels too high, right? Yeah, there we go. You see the guitar better. All right, is this working? Freaking reboot here. All right, I need a coffee. All right, people saying we're good now. I'm going to just calm down for a sec with coffee. Ahoy, hoy. I only know one dude who might be saying ahoy, hoy. Wait a second. What's up? How's my voice? How's my guitar? Okay. All right, people seeing his work. Merry Christmas, dudes. Thank you. Bring out the troopers. It's too cold here. It's like, right now it's probably about 22, 23 degrees. It's going to get down in the teens. I can't do it. I can't drink beer when it's so cold. Too cold. Yo, London. Happy holidays, Ripley. Look at all these people. Got your Arizona. And Krell Bar. Of course. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Hit him with the Hein. I'm going through the new Shaman II with a ton of reverb because I was doing a blues thing. We got Oregon, Australia, or Arizona. This is my Charvel. You don't remember the video on this? Merry Christmas, Gino, Chazman. Oh, thank you, Snowblind. Snowblind's having a little beer in my honor. Well, I'm having coffee because it's warm. A little chile. That's the Shaman. The only thing that the TH2 is doing is the reverb in the cab. And I'm using probably a Marshall cab, if I remember correctly. Let's just double check that real quick. Yeah, Marshall JMP. Got Vegas, North Carolina, Brazil, Texas, Australia. Snow in there. We had a little snow. Not much, though. Very little. But it's cold. We got a little snow on the end of on a little temperature change. 10 inches. Ugh. Better you than me. For snow, anyway. Alberta, Cleveland, Mr. Burns. Pish Posh, Ba Flimshaw. Got Nottinghamshire. Another England. I saw Pennsylvania, Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Another Scotland, New Zealand. Yeah, this is San Dimas. Someone just said San Dimas? Yes. Yes, Demas. How was Mother Brook last month? It was great. I had a lot of fun. I got there and they were like, let's call him right up to the stage. I was like, oh, you're killing me. I had a hard time hearing the backing track, but we muscled through it. Germany? Don't remember you posting the Charvel yet? No, I got a vid. I got a dedicated vid. Yeah, did you guys see that last night with Philip McKnight? I mean, could there be a nicer guy on the planet? Super, super nice guy. Had a lot of fun. And you know how I know I had fun? Because all of a sudden it was over. I was like, wow, that really went fast. Portugal, Pennsylvania, Houston, Alabama, Davenport, Iowa. Merry Christmas, Jade and Pete. Got Davenport, Iowa, Oregon, Yonkers. Getting hit out in Michigan, yeah, for snow. Yeah. Singapore, perpetual heat. Yeah, we don't have that. I like to change the seasons, though. I don't mind it. But not for long. Right? You can only take below the freezing temperatures for so long. Just like you can only take 90 degrees for so long. I haven't played guitar like all day, so... I forget it now. Saw Vienna, saw Philly. Cold here in Las Vegas. Yeah, but it's not our cold. And you guys, you know, at least you'll warm up in the daytime. We can be stuck with pretty cold days. Argentina. Thoughts on Hughes and Kettner? I haven't played many of them, but the ones I have, I thought sounded great. It's a very distinct sound. South Jersey. I agree, Snowblind. Philip is awesome. Beautiful British Columbia. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Kevin. Up in Vermont, Spencer checking in. We got Pittsburgh. Oh, thanks. Thanks so much. Saying great job with Phil last night. Got San Antone. Would you ever buy a Jackson guitar? I was in the market for a Jackson guitar. I wanted a Jackson guitar. But I just couldn't put... The one I was looking at, it had problems. It had some neck separation, so I passed on it. But it was nice. It was on my radar. We got Baltimore. Another San Antonio. Another Pittsburgh. Ireland. I'll take 90 over 20 any day. Yeah, a lot of people would. Agreed. Hey, but it's got to be a dry heat. What I hate is when it's like super, super muggy. Then it's like, ugh. Right. That's what we get around here. It's pretty, can get pretty tropical. Birmingham, New York. I've been thinking about getting one of those Charvels, but it's probably going to be end up being Jackson's. I prefer 24 frets and a slimmer neck joint. Yeah. No, this is a thicker, absolutely. Because that's a neck through. It's got like almost no neck joint, right? So, yeah. You're right on that. It's definitely much slimmer neck joint. I think I saw Canada whip by real fast. Warwick, Rhode Island. What's up, LG Avenger? Hey, ETH. I don't know how to pronounce these ones. Louisville, Kentucky. What's up, Quentin? What's up, buddy? What was that name of the song you just played? I think Finish What You Started. Right. Bruce from Burrville. Freezing here in Arizona, 72 degrees. Why, I oughta. It's so funny because around here, if it turns like... If right now, after this weather... If it turned like 48, there'd be a lot of people out walking around. You'd see a lot of people like, oh, what a great day. Yeah, Utah's a dry heat. Yeah, out here, it's a dry in the spring, but the humidity catches up. By August, it's a friggin' nightmare. Right. I'd have to turn the gain up maybe a little bit. What's up, Gibson 9698? What state am I in? I am in Massachusetts, right outside of Boston. Pixie, seen any good Christmas deals online? Well, not that are sticking out in my brain right now. I just got raked over the coals on some Pokemon stuff. Pokemon, they're always one step ahead. Play some Dream Theater tunes. You know, I really don't know any. Actually, Krellbar, if you think about it, it's not odd at all. Black Friday shopping. Did I get any deals? Not really. I bought the family one of those little dots for $39. You know, my wife and we're to the point, we've had so many Christmases together. Now we do things like I buy her a coffee grinder, right? Things we need. She buys me. We have friends who like just wrap up crap around. When the kids were little, they would just wrap around crap around the house and give it to each other. You know, it's like, please. Wales, what's up? Long Island. I'm playing through the new Shaman II. Someone just said, what are you playing through? Let me switch over to the clean channel. This is the push. And that's the true clean. Man, my hand is so friggin' cold. You guys are going to watch me warm up for like 2 hours. Then I'm going to start sounding pretty good. And I'll be like, all right, show's over. I went back to the dirt channel. That's the light dirt. Might turn up. I like that. That's, you know, so I think the rap on the original Shaman was that it was a touch bright, and this is a darker version, I think. Oh, happy birthday, Electro Omega. Another run around the sun. Best heavy metal amp. I mean, it's probably like what, the dual rack. I don't think you'd get a lot of debate on that, you know, or certainly objection to that being chosen. But certainly the 6505, you know, or the 55. I mean the 5150. Both amazing amps. So right now I'm running through. I'm running directly into the Shaman II. Shaman II. It's a prototype though, so you know, I don't know if it's going to sound exactly like this when the final version comes out, because this isn't the final version. This is a prototype. And then I'm going into the reload box, and that's what squishes all that tubey goodness down into something that can go into my computer. Then the computer adds the cab, and right now, like I said, I think I'm running the Marshall JMP. I am. We can try out a few different cabs. So there's the JMP one. See how much more bass on the JMP3. They sort of step down in bass, right? So the first one's the brightest, the third one's the darkest. Really, the first one's probably center cone, mid cone, you know what I'm saying? And then edge cone. We can try even. I think I'm digitally crackling here a little bit. Like that's the Port City wave. That's a nice cab. It takes a second to get used to it, right? At first you're like, oh, I don't think I like that. But then you're like, actually, you know what? That's pretty good. Right? Just give it a second. Anyway, that's the Port City wave too. The other thing I'll say about the Shaman, it cleans up really well. So when I back off, a lot of amps go really dark. You ever notice that? You back off on your instrument, and it's almost like you're closing a wah-wah pedal. It's like, what the hell happened? This one, right? Anyway, I should start looking at these. Thoughts and Sound Spectra Studios. Oh, Joe. Spectra Sound Studios. Glenn's an awesome guy. He's in what we would call up here a hot shit, you know. Just a super nice guy, funny. And I'll be looking forward to saying hello to him at NAMM in a few weeks. Favorite blues guitarist? I'm probably really digging Joe Bonamassa right now. The guy is on a streak, and he just got nominated for a Grammy. So that's awesome. The way they're talking about it, I'm thinking it's his first one, but I find that hard to believe, but they seem to be really freaking out about it. Please play some Van Halen. Somebody get me a doctor. What is get me a doctor. Right. Yeah. Something like that. How's that for off the top of my head? Pretty bad, actually. Yeah, Joe is just one of those guys who's just, you know, you just say to yourself, you know, is there any chance we could get you to, like, cut a finger off just to give the rest of us a chance? We just want a chance. Yeah, Joe's. And the thing about Joe is, you know, and this cannot be understated, the guy's a phenomenal singer. I mean, just really, really amazing singer. I heard him do a version of a Whipping Post, which, if you know that, you know, that vocal line for Whipping Post, you know, it's just insane. And he just belted that out. I was like, oh my God. Krell Bar, how did Mother Brooke go last month? It went well. I think I already asked that. I mean, answered that. When are you going to do a video on a Kemper profiler? You know, I'd love to, but Kemper needs to send me one. Nothing, Kemper, anything. But right now, I don't have any plans for one because they're quite pricey. I got all my money tied up on concrete floors in the garage. Hello from Ireland. Hello, Steve. A golfer in Ireland? What? Well, hello, Paid 2009. Nice to have you join us. Your facial expression the first time you heard eruption. They're probably like just dejection. Probably more like confusion. Like, what? No, get out of here. That's not a guitar. Oh yeah, right. He's got that thing with Glenn Hughes. That's right. Who's also a killer singer, but you know, I don't think Joe needs anyone, man. His voice is friggin' amazing. Though I'm a little worried about him. I mean, his purchasing of guitars appears to have gotten quite a bit out of control. I don't know if you follow him on Facebook, but the man has an addiction. A good one, though. Okay, I made a code name, Viper. Oh, dear. Oh, from Maryland. Nice to see. Oh, in Ottawa, I'm seeing up here. What about Ian Gillan? Awesome. I saw Ian Gillan, I'm pretty sure, front Black Sabbath in 1983. And that is actually out there. The show I am at, I was at the Providence Civic Center. And that's the show that's on that live, is that show. Yeah, when there's bias effects. You know, there's a lot of substitutions. I think Daryl he makes a good point. He says, you know, who needs a Kemper or an Axe effects when there's bias effects? Well, for someone who wants to travel and they want the robustness of a piece of hardware, especially when you're getting a Kemper that has like a 600 watt amp in it, I see a lot of guitar players use it just for the sheer consistency, like room to room. A tube amp will react a little bit to the voltage coming into it, and you can go to some places that are very old, won't have very good voltage. So I think Kemper, it really has this market with especially metal players because it just sounds amazing like every night, night after night. Problem is the price. And if you're not going out and going around with it, then, you know, you probably don't really need it. And then you look at a product like Bias that's like literally like 1/10 the cost. And you're like, man, you know, what am I doing here? Maybe I'll move that. Move that up there and then just that doesn't sound like much. Yeah, probably bring that level up a little bit. The rate's too low. We'll get it going here. Hold on. Let's have a little fun. A little too fast. Maybe a little too slow. Ah, God, that's horrible. Now there's too much reverb. All right, let me cut that down a little bit. Eh. All right, I'm bored with that already. Maybe a touch more wet. I mean, how many times have we all said that? I kind of like that. That amp sounds good. Just gonna throw that out there. I like that amp. That's a good amp. Hold on a second here. I gotta like stick this here and move this here. And here we go. All right. Yeah, settle down. See, my picking hand, I'm not warmed up. Hear that little, it's like almost like a little friggin' retard stroke. That gonna be right on. Bam, bam, bam. Anyway, enough of that. What will be your next guitar or upgrades on equipment? That's a great question. I think I'm trying to think of like what I need, and the list is pretty short, right? And so like part of me is almost feeling like, slow down with the gear and the moving around with the gear and, the acquisition of the gear, and try to do more with music and do more of the music stuff. So I've actually been selling a few guitars rather than buying them. But that's just because it was getting tough to walk around down here. I mean, it just logistically, it starts to get a little ridiculous, But I'm seeing a few suggestions up here for PRS, and you know what? You might be right. And I see another one up here for a Carvin, and yeah, I think both of those I would like to get. The Jason Becker model. I just love that guitar. The blue one with the flame maple top, if you get the true Becker, which is like just all flame top to bottom with the pointy headstock and the Strat body. It's a beautiful instrument. And I really, really like that guitar. There's just something about that particular model I really dig. And a PRS, God, there's probably, I like the custom 22s, I like the custom 24s, naturally. But I also like, what's that other one, the 513? That guitar intrigues me, because of its versatility. So, and then someone just wrote SG. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of a glaring hole in the lineup too, right? It's like, I got the Strats, got the Telly, just got the Les Paul, right? I got a ton of Ibanez. So, yeah, I suppose if you want to mix it up. I mean, the last 3 guitars I sold, I think, were all Strats. So, it happened, I think I was a little Strat heavy. You got the Jason Becker Krellbach? Do you really? Wow, I envy you. You still have the Ibanez Les Paul? Yeah, I do. I love that guitar, actually. Again, it's been a good year. It's been a good year for guitars. The only one I did get rid of was I got rid of the old Ibanez. Remember that one? The one I got a couple of years ago. The one that I picked up this year that I just did the big refurb on, that's a much nicer guitar. Just head to toe, much, much nicer guitar. So once I fixed that up and put the new pickups on it and changed the hardware, it was so much nicer than the one I had. I felt no need to have 2, so I dumped one. And I did really well on it. I was really friggin' stoked. See you, Chaz, man. Do I have a Firebird? I don't have a Firebird. I will say that I played the Johnny Winter Special Firebird. I don't know if it was that particular one, but I found the neck too wide and thin front to back. I don't mind a thin neck, but it was just too wide. I didn't care for the width of the neck. But that might be because it's his signature model and not the standard Firebird. I'd have to try a few, like, just plain Firebirds to see if I like the neck on them. All right, keep that in mind, Krellbar. Out of all the pickups you've used, what are your favorites besides the blackouts? I gotta say, I really like the surprise pickup for me, I think, over the years was that DiMarzio PAF Pro and my Ibanez 3120, or the RG 3120. That pickup just sounds so nice. There's just something about the DiMarzio PAF Pro. It just has a certain tone that's like amazing, you know. Someone's asking about the Skull and Bones. So that project turned out to be considerably more difficult than I had imagined. But I haven't given up on it. I got the whole body stripped. I got it sanded down. I reached out to a friend of mine to paint it, but he doesn't feel like he's capable of painting wood. He's like, I'm not that. He's like, I do different materials than that. And he's like, he's more of a finesse small. He didn't want to do it. And I didn't want to, you know, try to talk him into it. So I was like, oh yeah, no problem at all. So that leaves me. And, you know, I got to find a way. I think I'm going to do, you know, I think the way I have to do it, you can't really get like nitrocellulose lacquer. I mean, you can, but it doesn't really work the same way. You got to get, I think everyone's telling me to do like acrylic. You do a acrylic lacquer, if that makes sense. Anyway. Oh, look. It's Robert Baker. Yeah, I'm looking forward to your custom Acacia too. What's up, Motozafa? Pixie, what's your opinion on Explorers and Vs? Hey, from Denmark. Hello, Denmark. Well, here's the thing. I like both shapes, right? I think they're iconic. The problem with the V is I've always found it hard to hold. I owned a V. I had a Gibson, one of the faded Vs with the ebony fingerboard. It had the crescent moon inlays for inlays, you know, for inlay markers. But the neck was a little big, and we just never gelled. So I got rid of that years ago. And but I do like the Explorer shape. I love that shape. Just never found a time to get one. I do have that shape. Did I just lose my mic? I feel like I did. No? Check, 1, 2. Did I just go down? Check. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see? See, that's why I have to wear the headphones. But yeah, no, I love that shape. And I'm a big fan of, you know, both guitars. I just wish the V was easier to hold and play. And, you know, I've seen some killer Vs that have always been way too much money for me to ever afford. The really nice custom Vs with the block inlays and the ebony fingerboard all bound, all the, you know, those custom Vs. I love those. Kind of pricey. Yes, I'm live tonight. The Acoustic Explorer? No, that's actually in the way back. That'd be a little tough to get right now. Bare Knuckles just for metal? I'm not positive on that. They make listen, they make a lot of high output pickups. I think we can all agree on that. But they make some softer stuff, for sure. But I think their rep is within the harder metal crew. So they're probably associated with that. You know, I mean, EMGs you can play non-metal on, but for some reason EMGs seem to be very associated with metal. How long left? Oh, we got a while. We've only been going a little bit. Let's see. What's your take on newer DBZ guitars? Haven't had a chance to play them. If they're at NAMM, I'll check them out. I've been seeing a lot of Fender offset models. Any take on those? I've never been a huge fan of the offsets, but you know, I'll be at NAMM. I'll give them a look-see again. Let's see the Shaman. Can you see it? I don't want to unplug it if I pull it too hard. We'll put it on standby. And then back off standby. Anyway, I want to push this back because those, you know, I'm going to pull this and one of these cables is going to come out and I'm going to be like, ah. What's your live show schedule? And someone says, what's your preferred genre of music to play? Most people would say I'm more like a classic rock, classic metal rock, you know, hair metal, 80s metal, that sort of stuff. I play a lot of blues, though, to be honest. As you get older, you sort of mellow out to the blues. It happens. It'll happen to you. What's your live show schedule? I try to do it the first Saturday of every month. Notice this month I didn't make that because it was my daughter's birthday last week, so she had a sleepover, and there's no way I could have a show with, you know, 7 13-year-olds running around upstairs. It was like friggin' chaos in here, so I just got all my stuff together, snacks, fresh coffee, and went right to the attic, got the big screen TV, you know, up there, and just camped out there for the night. And I did it this week instead. But normally it's the first Saturday of every month. They're going a little fast here on me. You like Bigsby style tremolos? I love the way they look, but they need some finesse to make them work correctly, right? They're no Floyd Rose, I'll tell you that. And they, you know, there's not a lot of movement to them, but they are cool. I mean, they're a classic. Now, what do you think of Music Man? Worth the dough? I think so. You know, a lot of people really love Music Man. When I think of Music Man, I think of basses, right? That's what I think about. I think of bass players. You know, I think of Music Man bass guitars. But, man, they've really made a real, you know, inroad into the guitar market, that's for sure. Someone suggests you should team up with Jack the Knife. I don't think I know him. On YouTube, I'll look him up. Did you listen to WAF's Rock and Walk this week? I did not. Did not listen to a lot of radio this week, unfortunately. It's a busy week. It's been a busy fall. What do you think of the Hello Kitty guitar by Squier? I can't say I've played one, but Squier makes okay stuff. You know, you're going to get pretty much a Squier standard. You know, the Hello Kitty is just a branding. Northampton, England. Good night. Thanks so much for staying up. Really appreciate it. You bring out and play your 77 Ibanez. I don't see it. Let me think about it. Think of where that is. You know, we're going through a lot. We did the garage over. That brought a lot of crap down here, and it's a mess down here. It's always a mess. I need like 4 dumpsters. Eric the Midget or Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf? Eric the Midget, please. Tequila or gin. I don't really like either of those. I'm not much of a hard liquor person. I don't like it. Beer is pretty much it. I'm more of a coffee guy these days, quite frankly. You still have your Chapman? I do. My 7-string? Sure do. I might get another one. I gotta talk to what's his name there? Ike out at Flipside. He's got one that's got some pickups ripped out of it. I have a feeling I can get a good deal on it if he still has it. I gotta corner him out at NAMM and go, what are you doing with that thing? Because I got pickups ready to go. Would you sell your 77 Ibanez? No. That's part of the league of childhood guitars. Right? Can't sell that. Oh, Robert Baker, I'm going to kill you. Listen to that. That sounds amazing. Okinawa, Japan, have a great morning, I think, for you. Oh, Robbie D, what's up, buddy? Indiana. Oh, that's right. Hank was from Fall River. That's true. But there was just something about Eric's just feistiness that I just thought was perfect. There was just something about him. He seemed so fine, too. I mean, he was just on, and then he was, it was pretty... I mean, he's been gone a couple of years now, but if you follow the show, you know what I'm talking about. Ever played a Made in USA RG30? I don't know if it was the RG30. We did have one or two. I definitely won a black neck-through RG from the U.S. Custom Shop in our store. And I really regret not buying that guitar. It was so nice. You still have the 82, the Strat? I do. It is right there. See it? See the neck right there? There. There. I have to go the opposite of where I think it should go. There. Are you going to play live more in 2017? Yeah, I'm trying to put together a band. Someone else said, you should really get a band going because it'll help creatively. I completely agree with that, So I had a friend who just got out of a situation with a band he was in. He might be available. And, it's just at my age when, a lot of these, people that I'm friends with, they got families. They got obligations. They don't have a lot of free time to just hang out and jam, But, if it's infrequent enough, sure. But I'd love to get a live show or get some friends down here and it could be on paper it could be pretty good. It's whether or not we could execute it. But there's no reason why I couldn't get everybody running through this system using electronic drums, everybody running through the system, and being able to mix down multiple instruments and get them, because the output software doesn't deal with that. It's a whole other computer system that's aggregating all that audio. All that's doing is sending out a stereo signal to this computer, which is running the live feed. It's not like the live feed has to compete and deal with all that processing power. So they're, on paper, it could happen. It's execution. That's the tricky part, right? We can write up all the plays we want. It's executing them. Yeah, I think that's the one he has, the ML2. You want a Ghost Fret? Yeah, I played the Ghost Fret. It's smaller than you might think. It's smaller than an Explorer. That's definitely like a, 7/8 size body, or something like that. Compare the difference between the Fuego X and the Shaman II. Well, I'll tell you one thing that the Fuego X can't do. That. Be completely and totally clean. Got to head out, Robert? All right, man. Have a good night. Or you're not going to get that. And so we can go through it. So there's the clean channel. I'm not touching any knobs. I'm just clicking the switch to the crunch channel. Not crunch. They call this push. So for that, I might want to bring the volume down, bring the gain up a little bit. And again, I could go in and EQ this wherever I want. I didn't touch anything. Again, there it is on the clean. I had the gain up. Now if I bring it over to the distorted side, I'll turn the gain way down. So there's the gain off. So there's the gain like barely on. That's on one voicing, right? So that's like the cleaner of the two voicings. That's the other voicing. How much louder that is. So at first, that loudness difference really bothered me. I was like, wow, that's a huge dB boost, between the two channels. But they're not two channels. It's two voices on a single channel. It's not a foot switchable event. It's not meant... You're meant to choose what you want, and that's what you use for that bank. You see what I'm saying? So I understand why there is a volume change. It really is like a boosted version of this to that. I like this one. I could turn down the output volume. It's a little brighter on that channel. I think I like the darker, this one. I like that better, Nice sustain. All right. I better get back to looking at this. Oh, let's see. How low of an action on that Charvel picks? Getting some buzz on the low E on the 15th fret and up. Check your neck for a bow. If you have a pretty serious, if your bow is too much, then this upper part here will be slightly elevated than the middle part. Right, so if it's just from like a certain area up, but if it's only on one string, then that tells me you just got one string that's a little too low. Right, and you got to bring that string up a little bit. Like if it was across the board like that, then I would think more of like a neck issue, but the more I think about it, the more I'm thinking you either have to, you got to raise that saddle up a hair, which on a Floyd Rose, as you know, is a ridiculous proposition. You got to shim it. Oh, yeah. Someone he said he missed the appearance on Phil McKnight's stream. Yeah, it's up there. You can check it out. I had a lot of fun. You know, Purple Rain. Yeah, it's like oh God. Right. Like an A sus2, and then you put like an F sharp in the bass. I'm out of tune. Here we go. That sounds a little flat, right? So like A sus2, F sharp in the bass, E major, D major, yeah. Something like that. Something like that. Hey, Terry. Right? Pixie thoughts on a 1980s vintage Ibanez Roadstar 2. I like the Ibanez Roadstars. I owned one back in the 80s. I thought they were nice. The only thing I didn't care for is the trem bar. I thought the tremolo. They got much better when they got the Floyd Rose licensed trem. The edge and stuff like that. When they were back there at those old ones, they didn't stay in tune all that well. They weren't great. Pixie, when's your next shirt run? That's a good question. I could do one soon. The thing is that right now I think they charge like an extra premium to put the shirts out around Christmas. So I think they raise their prices, right, for the Christmas crowd. So I generally don't do one. I think it starts like November 5th or like November 15th or something like that, and they just jack up prices to cash in on Christmas. And it's like, I'm not doing that. I'll wait till Christmas is over, and I'll do it after Christmas, and everything will be like $1 or $2 less, Have you listened to Philip Sace? Can't say that I have. I'll check him out though. That name's come up a bunch recently. Roadster, you're looking at as a fixed bridge? Yeah, then you'll be fine. And those fixed bridges are pretty good. Someone's saying, is it one you're seeing here? Someone says, what's the name of that gold pedal with the red LED light under the knob? You seen it on screen here? I don't know. There's a million ones that fit that description on the market. I would need one in the room. Although I might have a golden plexi in this room somewhere. That sounds right. Methuen, Mass. What's up, buddy? She got a Chapman Ghost Fret. Yeah, they are nice. Missing your black Japanese Squire yet? A little bit. Not really, though. I have plenty of Strats. And I held out, got my price. That's the important thing. We have shirts ready by NAMM. Yeah, I might actually. That'd be a good thing. I'll do them right before, I'll do them like right after the first of the year, right? That'd be good because then they'd be in before NAMM. It takes about a week for the turnaround, 2 weeks. You still have that orange Gibson everyone wants to buy from you? I do. I sure do. God, people used to hound me for that guitar. I can't tell you how many people when that whole thing was going like really heavy, I would get countless requests for, yeah, I want to buy one, but I don't really know how to do it. So why don't you get it for me and I'll just get it for you? It's like, oh yeah, let me get right on that. Yeah, let me go importing a guitar for you. Let me do that. Have a good night, Frank. Thanks for hanging out. Fuzzface or Big Muff? Ooh, that's a good call. Do we have to choose? I'm going to go, I'm going to go Big Muff. And trust me, it was hard. Those are both really good pedals. I'm not a huge fan of fuzz pedals, but those are both pretty good fuzz pedals. Rudolph is on. I just saw that the other night. Later, Eric. Cool, you want to weigh on it now? All right. Gotcha. Is Angus still appearing with GNR? I have no idea. That's a weird situation going on there. Yeah, a lot of people registering their love for the Big Muff. Are you tired of the new guild yet? I didn't get a guild. Oh, you think you mean the Gibson, and no. Actually, I really like that Gibson. I don't know if I need a half dozen, but one's good to have. And they had a select Strat up from the next year, which is very similar, except it's a quilt top and 3 single coils and the small headstock. But other than that, it's still inlaid. It's still the channel bound, all that. The massive, bird's eye maple, all that stuff. It was like $13.99. So I could probably get that select Strat at a pretty good price. I don't think I could get that Les Paul for $13.99 anywhere. So, granted, it's not the same exact one as the one I had, but it's still pretty much, it's the 2014 instead of the 2013. What piece of gear are you really longing for? I wouldn't mind owning, that's geez, is this thing out again? I swear to God, man. Check. Yeah, there it goes. I knew it. I said, man, that sounds like it's out again. Maybe like we were talking about this earlier. Maybe a PRS or wouldn't mind a nice boogie amp. Can't go wrong with a boogie. But this Panama sound again. I get such good tones. Tones I can live with, I'm like, do I really need another amp? Probably not. See, I wonder if I hit this and that's what did it. I don't even know anymore. Oh, yeah, I got Grand Pixie. That's the followers. Suppose it could be worse. You have the same Charvel and Blueburst. Love it. Yeah, these are great guitars, man. I love this. I love the neck on this. And I almost brought out the Strat, and I said, I can't do another Strat. God, can't break out another Strat. So, I got a Strat-ish. Sort of Stratty. USB inputs on guitars, you think that's coming soon? I don't know. Probably not. We all thought back in the 80s that guitars were just going to have MIDI outputs. We were going to plug in the synthesizers and just play whatever we wanted. And the guitar would just turn into an input device. And boy, we could not have been more wrong. So, you watch that pedal show? I do. I'm just going back here a little bit. I've seen Phil Rudd's video to head job. I have not. Still love your Rosewood headstock Fender you have. Yeah, that was the one I almost broke out tonight, but I said enough of that guitar. People see that too much. So we got to do it. See you, Jason. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. Steve, what is the Gibson Ultra Modern weight relief for the 2017 Gibson? I don't know. I am going to NAMM. I'm sure it'll be on display, and I'll check it out. My Les Paul Standard is pretty light. People who pick it up are like, wow. But it's very balanced. It doesn't have any neck droop at all. It's like it's pretty well balanced. They take away just enough wood so that, it's light, but the neck doesn't droop. The answer is yes. You always need another amp. I know, dude. Gas, right? What's the amp to the bottom right? Oh, right here. That is a Viper Pro 100. Got a video on that coming up real soon. Les Paul with P90s is next. Yeah, actually, that's true. I do want a Les Paul with P90s. I had a buddy's in here a few weeks ago fixing it up for me. He had a terrible time keeping it in tune, and the nut slots were just a little rough, and we just sanded those a little smooth. It actually has a Corian nut in it. And we sanded those a little smooth with some abrasive cord and lubed it all up. And actually switched out his truss rod nut, which had some damage to it. It was weird. And it was fine. It was great. Man, I do love those P90s. It's like they're right in between a humbucker and a single coil Strat sound, Pixie, Strat, or Telly. Strat. I mean, I like the Telly, but I'm a Strat guy. I'd be lying if I said Telly. Your thoughts on the Orange Micro Dark Amp? I have not tried it. I have heard a number of demos, and they all sounded actually pretty good. Not bad. I mean, it's a very inexpensive amp, so I mean, how low can they go? But it sounds pretty good. You mean the Micro, right? Making sure. Yeah, you said Micro, yeah. Do you have the Les Paul with the blackouts? I do. It's in the back. You know what? I almost want to take that blackout for metal out and just put in the matching blackout for the neck. I love the neck pickup, but the bridge is almost too much. It's almost like just too crazy. So I might pull that out and get the regular blackout and have matching blackouts. And then figure out, maybe, I'm trying to think if I have a guitar with a single pickup in it, I can put that metal one in. I'll have to think about it. You ever try a full-tone Plimsoll? Can't say that I have, sorry. But again, if they're at NAMM, Try out some high-end ESP guitars at NAMM. I will. The highest-end stuff are behind ropes and not to be touched. All their custom shop stuff. And they're crazy. I mean, they're insane. They're $20,000, $30,000. It's like crazy. But they have a ton there that you can check out, and I will. I'll try to check them out. Need an SG with P90s? Oh, that could work. SG P90s. It could happen. That could work. Oh man, I swear to God, man, this thing it's making me crazy. It's making me nuts. What is your problem? What is your malfunction? Check. I'd say it's a battery, and I believe it or not, I happen to have a packet of batteries right here, just in case. Yeah, 2017, actually 2019. We're way pushed back with our budget. Coming 2019, the preview for the Viper Pro 100. Did you ever put the new pickups in your EVH Stealth? I have not. That thing just got a backseat to the Ibanez, and then the fall came, and it was just, one thing after another. And I'll give you an example. And I was telling this to Philip McKnight last night. It's like my daughter, it was her birthday. It's like, what do you want for your birthday? I want you to paint my room. So that's not, go out to the store and drop, 50 or $80 on a gift. That's like going and getting paint, spackling a room, moving everything to the middle. It came out great. And I've painted so many rooms. I'm getting pretty damn good at it. But still, it was a 3-day job, a lot of hours of work. And it just, it kills you. Yeah, problem Mike fixed with beer. No beer. It's too cold for beer. I can't drink a beer right now. It is so friggin' cold out. I don't know. Do I have my temperature? I don't. Let me see. I'm going to check on my phone real quick. If you know, it's 22. It's 22 degrees out. That's below beer drinking temperature. He says, I'm surprised I went to the Guitar Expo and they let them play everything. It depends. Some places will let you play. Some places will let you play everything. It really depends. Like Fender, when I went a couple of years ago and they had that big custom shop room, you really weren't allowed to go in there at all. But their regular stuff was all out. Anyone could just pick it up. Michael Sweet and Lynch are getting together. Your thoughts? Lynch, I got to hand it to the guy. He stays active, right? He's always got some project running. Michael Sweet, I don't know as much about because I didn't really do much with Striper. I wasn't a big Striper guy back in the day. But I just think that I like that George Lynch is keeping in the game. I like that he keeps it going. Leafs Bruins 1-0. Second period. All right. Your earlier demo of the show, we were thinking about getting that one. Shaman demo, the Shaman II with the Fuego X. Well, they're different. If you want the most versatile amp, you get the Shaman II because it's the only one that can get super cleans. The Fuego X is not a clean amp. It just isn't. You're not going to get a clean tone out of it, right? It's going to be a somewhat crunchy clean channel, and then a low gain and a high gain. And that high gain is like through the roof, right? That's a high gain amp. This is also a pretty high gain amp, but it can also go clean, which you just can't get that with that amp, unfortunately. Plus, I like that this can be switched. Right now, I think I'm running AB on the dirty and A on the clean. You can switch the type of tube amp output it is, whether it's AB or Class AB or Class A. And of course, Class AB has more watts, right? And it's got like a tighter low end and a lot more headroom. But Class A has that warmth, right? So there's a trade, but you can go if you don't like one, you just switch it to the other one. It's cool. Hello, Chile. Hey, James, what's up, buddy? Hey, you know what? It's funny, James. You said, was that Hyde Park concrete? It actually was Hyde Park concrete. Keeping it local, bro. Keeping it local. What are your thoughts on the Dokken tour in Japan? I don't know much about it. Dokken seems to be on tour quite a bit. I've seen some footage recently with George Lynch with Dokken, but from what I'm seeing here, looks like he's maybe moving on to a project. I think that was a one-time thing or a very limited thing that they did he was doing with Dokken. But I think it's still Red Beach who's doing the guitar work for Dokken at this point. I don't even know. They're so all over the place. But they tour. I'll give them that much. The guys never stop touring. Steve, you think custom shop guitars are worth the money? There was a time I probably would have said no, but then you play one and you're like, man, that's really nice. It's like, wow. I kind of get it. That actually is really, really super nice. So, here's the thing. I think a custom shop new, especially if you go to the custom shop and have one made up, you're probably losing money. In fact, I'm going to give it 100% probability of you losing money on that guitar. But if you get one used, and especially if you bide your time, they had a couple of what they call the custom shop customs, modern customs, I think they're called, or something like that. So it's got 22 frets, not 21 frets. And, it's got like a bird's eye neck, and it was a maple neck, and just a straight up regular, almost looks like an American Standard Strat, but it's from the custom shop, and it's got all the nice accoutrements that go with the custom shop. And they had two of them on Guitar Center used. One was $14.99, one is $15.99. That's like less than half of their retail. So at that price, yeah, I'd be all over that guitar. But unfortunately, I would have at the time. I didn't have the cash, I couldn't drop another like $1,500 right there. But trust me, I think at that price, they're totally worth it. I think basically anything under $2,000 on a custom shop is pretty much worth it. And for every 100 you get under $2,000, it gets more and more worth it. It says, "What do you do for a living?" Mostly IT work. Like 90% of my living is IT work, because IT is, pays well. What bands or artists are you listening to lately? No one really comes to mind. I just listened to the whole new Rolling Stones album. Is it Blue and Lonesome? Or Lonesome and Blue? I think it's Blue and Lonesome. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It was recorded almost feels like live. Very weird sounding recording. Fan of Toto at all? Absolutely. I saw Toto. And met, I want to say Jeff Porcaro. The drummer at the time. He passed away years later from a bizarre gardening accident. And that's actually not too far from the truth. Yeah, Reb is underrated. Someone said, yeah, I agree with Ron. I think Reb is underrated. You know, he's got that killer freaking two-handed technique. You know, really, really good. You know, the thing about Reb, though, is, you know, God, this is going to make me mental. The thing about Reb is that, you know, his time was really back in the 80s. And, you know, like I say, there's not a ton of new guitar players out there. You know, it's like John Mayer's the youngest guy we got, and he's not that young. Yeah, Lukather is a beast. Yeah, it only took him 3 days to record it. It sounded like it took him about 3 hours to record. They're like, all right, let's do this one take. Let's go. It's pretty... Yeah, it is impossible to dust for vomit. Besides, the authorities thought it was a case better left unsolved. Joel Hoekstra, I don't know much about him. There's so many... You could fill a library with the people I don't know. Officially out. Oh man. Check. Yeah, there we go. I knew it. I said this stupid thing. Here we go. And back and on. And here we back again. Is Bonamassa older than Mayer? I think he is, actually. They're right around the same age. Break out the Kramer and play some Halen. I might have to change this battery here. I think it's this battery that's going. That is the source of my pain. I have another battery. Hold on. Get that out of there. Just please bear with us. Here we go. Here's the tricky part, getting the old one out. Yoink. And brand new battery back in. Let's see if that makes a difference. If it doesn't, then we know it's the mic. So I say Mayer's 39, so Bonamassa's 39, Mayor's 39. There you go. Bonamaster's older by a couple of months. Have you had any Pete Townsend smashing episodes? No. It's, money. If I had Pete Townsend's money, maybe. I need a roadie. Yeah, I need a... Well, if you don't go on the road, I need a housey, a homie. I think it was the battery. Only time will tell. Daniel Perkins writes, what's the top 3 guitars you own, your favorite? Oh, God. It'd be hard to choose 3. I mean, certainly like the you know, the 2 rosewood neck guitars and the Les Paul are the ones I've been playing mostly in the last, you know, weeks, without a doubt. And I really love those guitars. But then I pick up like the Fender, the Strat, and I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. And then I pick up like my RG3120, and I'm like, oh dude, no wonder I love Ibanez. Right? So it's so hard to pick a, you know, to pick a favorite. You know, people always say, you know, what guitar would you save in a fire? And that's easy. It's be my '87 RG560, just because we got history, right? I mean, that's sort of the one. But in terms of my favorites lately, I've been playing pretty much that red rosewood neck Strat, the green rosewood neck Telly, and the Les Paul Premium Plus. Pretty much exclusively. Which is why I broke this up, because I just felt like I've been playing them so much, I've been getting in a bit of a rut. Pixie Heavy Wax Potted. What do we know? What do we have to know to do it? What do we have to know? Oh, I see. What do you need to know to do it? All right. Wax potting is actually tricky. It can be done. It's the temperature control. One of the better ways I've seen do it is people buy a used friolator, like off of Craigslist or something, right? Because it's a temperature controlled item, right? So you can put the wax in there and melt it and set the temperature on the friolator to 140 degrees. The problem is if you got too warm, you will melt the solder. You've got to be under the solder melting temperature and under the plastic melting temperature, but you've got to be above the wax melting temperature, and it's a pretty tight tolerance. But yeah, you put them in there, and the other problem is that, you know, they got to stay in long enough that the air bubbles out of them. So the big players, they don't have time to wait around for that stuff. They put a vacuum on it, right? They purge through a vacuum. They do a vacuum purge, and that displaces all the, you know, the air inside the pickup and around the windings with wax. You're not going to have that, so you're going to have to just wait. And again, that's where oh, see, okay, all right. Apparently, it isn't the battery. Well, damn it! Check. Apparently, it isn't the battery. What time we got? 8:29. All right, we'll see if we can get through 30 minutes. But yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But it can be done. People have done it. But the ones I see who have successfully done it went out and just wasted a friolator. They just dedicated, they dropped 40 bucks. And this is going to make me mental. It's already making me a little mental. Why, I oughta. Check, 1, 2. All right, let me check here. Yeah, most new pickups already come wax potted. It's unnecessary. And you know what? I sold a guitar, the old Ibanez, right? My The 76, no, the 77. I sold the 77. I have the 76 Ibanez. I like the pickups around it, so I pulled it out and I threw in those unpotted crappy pickups that came out of one of the Chinese guitars. And those are unpotted. And I said, these are unpotted pickups. They're going to squeal. And the dude who bought it, I said, listen, just so you know, this thing is going to squeal like crazy. He's like, yeah, that's what I want. He's like, I'm like a noise guitar player. He goes, I want the squealier, the better. I want insane, uncontrolled feedback and noise. He goes, that's kind of my thing. He goes, I couldn't believe it. He goes, it was like a match made in heaven when I saw it. And I was like, you know what? There really is a guitar for everyone. You know? So someone's trash is another person's treasure. What do you think about Bon Jovi's vocal performance? He sounded okay last time I heard him, but you know, like anyone can have a bad night, but he sounded good. I heard a couple of recent things. Maybe it was just the song he was singing that you heard and the one I heard. I'm sure that some songs are easier than others to sing, but yeah, testes, 1, 2, 3. Exactly. Would you mind doing some more song lessons? Yeah, I should. I don't really do a lot of the, I don't really do a ton of lessons stuff, recently. I don't know why. Time. I have a custom USRG 30 you can borrow in Waltham. I hardly ever play it. Oh, really? Well, so is it the like a quilt top or like like some of those USA ones? They had real fancy tops. Is that what the one you have? You have or it's the one we had was all black. It had nothing. It was just painted. So, and then later on, they got like much fancier, and they got they added. Quilt and flame and all that stuff. Be curious to know. You like Mark Knopfler? Sure. Great guitar player. Yeah, James, I know you saw it around 370, but maybe I'm thinking the plastic. There is something. I read a review, not a review, a how-to on how to set up the to do it, and I want to say they warned not to go past like 155 or something like that, 150, somewhere around there. They said you're going to ruin the pickup, and maybe it was the plastic that would melt at that temperature. I have no idea. Maybe not the solder, maybe the plastic. I mean, Dancy, since you can never sell the China guitars, you ever regret buying them? No, not really. In fact, I started a nice little project on the EVH one. That's cool. And then I think I'm going to do the same thing with the Gem. It's a good, if you want to learn how to refret, there's your guitar, right? Because you don't care if anything goes wrong with it. It doesn't matter. So they're good beater guitars. They're good. And quite frankly, the Iommi is a good guitar, and so is the Double Neck. They're both really good guitars. Double Neck's a little heavy, a little on the heavy side. It's like 14 pounds, but they're good guitars. The worst one by far is the Gem, but the EVH and the whatchamacallit there, the Iommi. Those are both really good guitars. And Sorry to disappoint. Yeah, my sniper dot, that's actually the LE. Oh, we can turn it. Oh, the green's not as bright. Is this the last live Lixxx for the year? It is, actually. Pixie, please record more of you working on guitars. I want to do that. That's actually, in fact, I set up an overhead mount for the GoPro, and so I'd like to do it. Yeah, it's hard because you're in the way, right? It's like you're leaning over trying to get something close, and you've got to get a camera on it to be able to get it. So. And then you're going to hear a lot of cursing and swearing. I might have to put a lot of background music on it. Merry Christmas, Bill. Can I buy one of your guitars? I know, you'd be surprised. I had 2 Gibsons, made, love them both. Yeah, it's worth it to try them out. Yeah, it's like people will vilify them as being horrible, and trust me, they can be, but not all of them. Worst guitar you ever played that's still in your gallery? The gem, the phlegm. And I think I was calling it the total shit trem, total shit registered trademark trem. God, that was like the worst. And the fretboard edges might be the sharpest fretboard edges. I mean, even the worst Squire has better rolled fretboard edges than that thing. It's just it had one really high fret. You could see they crammed a bunch of filler underneath it. Who knows what's going on there? I'm sure if I ripped that fret out, a big chunk would be missing, right? It feels like when they put that in, they flaked off a big chunk of wood. They're like, just stick a bunch of filler in there. We'll be good to go. Like I said, that is by far the worst one. See you, hombre. Oh, I think I got an answer to a question, so I wanted to go back. Is that your RG30 on Craigslist? It's almost like a purple. Is that is that the one I'm thinking of? Right? It's out of Waltham. Yeah, I think I do know that one. I'm on Craigslist enough. There you go. Someone just said a Christmas song. That was totally by ear. Pixie, is shielding the pickup cavity is a good idea on single coils? Absolutely. On double coils, probably not so much because you have hum canceling. It's literally got a hum cancellation system built right into it. That's less of a problem. But for single coils, yeah, it does, I think, make a difference. Should I unfinish the neck and apply tongue oil myself? You could. It's still going to feel like wood. Tongue oil dries to a very just wood feel that it won't feel like a finish. It depends on the tongue oil you get, but yeah, pretty much. I like gunstock oil. I found that 3 years ago, and I've been a fan. J-Max, he says, the worst kind of sounding guitar is the guitar I have in my hands. Come on, man, give yourself some credit. I'm sure it's not that bad. Don't beat yourself up. Yeah, that's the Christmas tune for this year. Yeah. There it is. No, I just started working on my Christmas tune. I was just talking to Robert Baker about it. I gave him 3 different tunes, and he went with he chose it. He done choosed it. It should be good. It'll probably take me 3 weeks to record it. Last year was one of those ones that, I was, done with. I had such a deadline. I was up against this crazy deadline when I finally got to the song and got it done. I just rushed it out, and I felt like I could have added a lot more, like double, triple tracked a lot of those tracks. That's what happens. I really got to start early this year. I'll feel better about it. Yeah, Scotch Brite to strip next. That's actually pretty good. We got a Leafs fan up here. It's good to see someone cares about hockey. See you, Robbie D. Thanks for hanging out, buddy. We're going to have a guitar switch. Well, it's 8:42. It might be. We might not. I'm feeling lazy. Yeah, Krellbar makes a good point. He says, I used to have more confidence in my playing when I couldn't play. That's true, right? The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. I remember when I was younger, we used to record ourselves a lot because, it was a way to give yourself some feedback. So you get a cassette player, a little boombox, whatever, record yourself. And I remember playing and listening back and saying, wow, that sounds awesome. And then a couple of years later, finding those tapes and playing back and being just cringing, going, oh my God, that is awful. I can't believe I like that at some point. That is just some of the worst ever. But that's what happens. You call by do a 3-way with Baker, Tone King, and you. Yeah, well, we could. Ever do an EVH pinstripe refinish on a guitar? I thought about it. In fact, I even went as far as to buy a Strat dedicated, a Squire, that was going to be dedicated to doing a Franken copy. This was about 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And I realized I'm not going to have the time. I should sell the Squire. Bring out the Iomi. No, it's all the way over there. It's way in the back too. What's wrong with Charvel? I like that. I haven't played this guitar in a while. It's going to be hard to get me to switch out. Bring out the Viper. Actually, the Viper's right there. Viper doesn't have humbuckers in it, though. That Viper's actually pretty noisy. Ever thought of putting Iomi pickups in the Iomi copy? Yes. I've actually thought about putting the EMGs in it because it comes with fake EMGs. Free EMGs. And, they're pretty bright. They just seem to be an encased passive pickup. But, yeah, I should put, like a set of War Pigs in it, right? Or the Iommi signature, but I might be leaning more towards War Pigs. What do you think of the Edwards Les Pauls from Japan? I've talked about that before. Amazing. Really good stuff. I like the FGN, which is, I think, the same thing. Right? Isn't Edwards Fujigen, or am I thinking of a different, or is it Greco that's Fujigen? I think it's Edwards that's Fujigen. And same with, and FGN, obviously. They're their own branded. William says, I can't get my guitar to squeal. That's a function of choking up on the pick. Right? You get your thumb, So here's the pick, just... Don't forget, this is making a little click noise just by touching it. Right? But if I choke up on it, you can start to... When you're palm muting, do you arpeggiate? Well, most people who, when they're sweeping, they try to palm mute a little bit because the left hand is moving so much it doesn't have a way to stop other notes from ringing out. That's why you'll see a lot of people put dampeners up on the top. That's cheating. Right? No dampeners. You got to do it with your hands. And so you do it by using your right, the side of your right hand to dampen those strings a little bit, I'm terrible at it, God, that was awful. Theme from the Monsters. And I think someone said Simpsons. That's a... that note there, the sharp 4. Outside of heavy rock, what other music do you like? I like jazz fusion. I actually like a lot of smooth jazz. I'm a huge fan of R&B. Like when I grew up, my parents listened to nothing but, it was all, Stevie Wonder and Ella Fitzgerald and Nat King Cole and so I got a lot of most Stevie, I think I mentioned Stevie Wonder. It's all like sort of Motown circuit. So I love all that stuff. James Brown, big into funk, and that stuff. Like I like Maroon 5. Those guys are players, man. I've heard them on the Stern Show a couple of times, and I've heard them arguing about stuff, and I say, wow, those guys, they really know their stuff. Those guys are players, man. Real players. They're arguing about like whether or not a tune, takes a temporary dip to the 2 of the sequence, and I'm like, all right, these guys know what they're talking about. Someone said Flintstones. And then it's a... Then I usually go... Usually tack that on the end. And then, of course, Woody Woodpecker. And what was the other one I used to do? All right, it's like Popeye. We got 10 minutes. Bring out the B.B. King Gibson. Oh, that one's back there, too. See, again, that's in the way, way back. It's a lot. Running with the Devil. It's like we always used to go, but it wasn't that. It was had to add that. And everyone would get the rhythm wrong too. Later, Bristol, Virginia. Thanks for hanging out. Smoke on the Water. I like to play it here. I know he plays it open, but I like to do it here. No, this isn't a USA Charvel. This is a Mexico. Like is that an Ace Frehley chord? Probably. You know. Oh, Voodoo Child. The problem with Voodoo Child is it's hard to do. It's hard to do without a wah pedal. A wah. A wah pedal. It's like I'm getting a lot of requests here. Steel Panther. I like having the gain knob right there. I used to love doing that. You do like a nice bend, you know. Hit that high E. It works. All right, guys, 8:54. I think we're going to have to start wrapping this up. It went fast. I can't believe it's really that late. But if I don't go, if I don't end on time, my family will kill me because they're trapped up on the second and third floor waiting for this live show to end. And they're going to be like, when are you finishing? Rob! All right, guys. I really appreciate everyone hanging out tonight. I had a lot of fun. And I talked to Philip McKnight. I think I'm going to have him over after the NAMM show. We'll do a NAMM review together. So I'm looking forward to that. And definitely do a live show before NAMM, the beginning of January. And who knows, maybe I'll do another one before the end of the year. Surprise live, but don't count on it. Who knows? Anyway, all right, guys. I think it's time to wrap it up. I'm seeing Pittsburgh saying and Charlotte. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Really appreciate it. Play some Kiss for your birthday. What do I know off the... There you go. See you guys. Newfoundland, Marlboro, Massachusetts, Lubbock, Texas, Fort Wayne, Indiana, England. Well, thanks for staying up. I really appreciate it. I know you're up super late. Minnesota. Wales. Merry Christmas, Space Ace. Mentor, Ohio. Texas, Chicago, Walkertown, Albany, New Jersey. Burrville, Rhode Island. Of course, Crowbar. Chandler, Arizona. Thanks for staying up, buddy. Really appreciate it. Montreal, Switzerland. Wow. Very late for you two. I really appreciate it. Australia, top of the morning to you. Glasgow, Scotland. Again, very late. Really appreciate it. Waterloo, Canada. Next time, the Strat. I agree. Next time, yeah. That's a good Christmas guitar, too. I almost played that one tonight. It's got the gold, the red, the gold, you know. Yeah, Merry Christmas, William. I really appreciate it. Toronto, Atlanta, Scotland, Youngstown, Ohio, England. I know Ansonia, Connecticut. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Nova Scotia, nice. Lafayette, Louisiana, Winnipeg, Canada. San Antone, PA, Harry, PA. And Somerville, Georgia. Pomeroy, New Jersey. Jersey has some tough towns. This is to pronounce. Blanco, Texas. Quincy, Illinois. Got Utah. New Zealand. Somerville. I know, it doesn't feel like Somerville, does it? It's like Winterville. Are you on Winter Hill? And Australia. Quincy. See that woman from Quincy? First time playing a scratch ticket, won $1 million. Nice. I think I'm getting the hook here. All right, guys. Toronto. Of course, Ben Salem, North Wales, Salisbury, PA, Cali. All right, guys. As always, thanks for hanging out. And rock on.